Either you, your child, or someone you know has been diagnosed with CHARGE syndrome. Here's everything that you will need to know. Let's begin with what it is. CHARGE syndrome is a rare disorder that affects many parts of the bodies. It is actually an acronym for the most common symptoms of the disorder, and these are a coloboma, which is characterized by a hole in one of the structures of the eye, any number of heart defects, atresia cone, which is characterized by the blockage of the nasal passage, which can lead to breathing difficulties, retardation of growth, genital abnormalities, and finally ear abnormalities. Now, how did you or your child get CHARGE syndrome? Well, there are over 500 mutations associated with the disease, and most cases are due to new and sporadic mutations. However, sometimes there may be a family history, and in that case, if it's inherited, usually there is a mutation on the CHD7 gene, which is located on chromosome 8. The CHD7 gene is responsible for producing a protein called chromatin that organizes how DNA is packaged into the chromosomes. A mutation at this gene means that there was some damage done to the DNA that resulted in a change so that the protein produced by the gene is either altered or considered non-functional, and this will lead to CHARGE syndrome. There is a family history of CHARGE syndrome. It usually follows an autosomal dominant pattern of inheritance. What this means is that if mom or dad has the mutated gene, then that is enough to cause the disorder in the baby. So now you must be wondering, if you have another child, what is the risk of them getting CHARGE syndrome? Well, because most cases are due to new and sporadic mutations, the recurrence risk is actually quite low for future offspring. Mutation in the CHD7 gene is found in an affected individual and both parents test negative for the mutation, then the recurrence risk for future offspring is less than 5%. However, if both parents are positive for the mutation, then there's a 50% chance of recurrence in the offspring. So what is the quality of life like for patients with CHARGE syndrome? And I thought, what better way to gain insight into this than by watching someone else's journey? Here's a quick clip documenting just that.
Everyone, as we start a new year, we are connecting Arizona with a Valley couple who feels so thankful to have what they've always wanted, a family. After trying to have a baby for several years, Lori and Colin Shook decided to adopt. 2 years ago, they ended up fostering a little boy, and just last year they adopted a baby girl. Despite many challenges along the way, it's what little Adeline has taught them that makes them feel even more blessed. Little Adeline looks perfect, always smiling and happy with a bubbly personality that's infectious.
And she's awesome, and she just is the strongest little thing.
Born May 25th, Adeline was just 5 days old when Lori and Colin Shook adopted her. She seemed fine until they took her to the hospital.
They did say that she had a couple holes in her heart, but it wasn't a big deal, and she was having some problems, feeding, but just keep trying. And so we went home thinking she was, very healthy, and went on our merry way out the door. And then from there, things, started getting complicated and scary.
Adeline would choke, turn colors, and couldn't swallow.
Oh, it's so scary. At first, I thought my wife was overreacting, but but then I was like, oh man, when she starts, retching and she can't breathe, and her food's coming out of her mouth. It was horrifying.
Doctors diagnosed her with CHARGE syndrome, a rare genetic condition with multiple symptoms.
I see airway problems, obstructions of the airway and the upper airway, lower airway. There can also be problems with development of normal lung tissue.
Other issues can affect the heart, neurological system, and GI tract, which causes Adeline to be on a feeding tube.
It's her normal, and she has no problem with it. She's just happy as can be.
She's such an amazing little fighter. I mean, so much strength and courage for being 6 months old.
I am super impressed how she's conquering her challenges. She is wonderful. Her family is super duper awesome. And I think with such an awesome family that she's come into, she's been able to tackle these obstacles in a much better way and more quickly than I ever would have imagined.
A team of at least a dozen specialists give Adeline their TLC, but a family's love may be the best medicine of all.
We never thought we'd have a family. We're blessed. It doesn't matter.
It's our girl and we love her, so we're happy with her.
I seriously thank God every day, every second of every day for her. Like, no matter what we're going through, she's still the best thing in the world.
Beautiful family. Because doctors at Cardin Children's Medical Center were able to diagnose and treat Adeline's problems early on, she has a better chance of living a full, healthy life. But she does have several procedures coming up, including possibly some neurological surgeries, depending on how she develops.
So based on that, can CHARGE syndrome be treated? Yes, absolutely. If CHARGE syndrome is suspected, then a thorough evaluation is done for choanal atresia to make sure that there won't be any breathing difficulties, and doctors will also check for hearing or feeding difficulties. Surgical correction can be done for any physical deformities. Developmental evaluation is critical to assess for possible mental retardation throughout the years. However, the key with CHARGE syndrome is early intervention, especially in the form of occupational, speech, and physical therapy, so patients can quickly improve on posture, ambulation, and self-care skills. Children with CHARGE syndrome may have a number of life-threatening medical conditions initially. With all of the advances in medical care, these children can survive and can thrive with the support of a diverse and dedicated team of medical professionals. For more information, visit www.chargesyndrome.org.